Livesteam. Good. I think everything's coming online. Engines are running. Things are slowly starting to start, which is awesome. I'm going to give everything a little bit to just get moving, get going on. I'm going to thank everyone for coming on the live stream. Things are booting up. Look at that. Oh, okay. Hopefully everyone, let me see here. If everyone can give me one sec. Oh, okay. Hey everyone, Rick9G here. Thank you so much for joining me today. People are starting to trickle in. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Hopefully everything is okay. There was like a mute thing, and then the mute thing is like fixed. So hopefully everyone can hear me. Yeah, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the Sunday live stream. I want to thank all of those who are here, who are starting to come in, who are starting to wake up from their slumber and getting on to a cool live stream. I have a lot to talk about today. Of course, the usual, saying hi to all of you, kind of checking in every once in a while. I find that so much fun. If you're first time here, don't forget, in the chat, say hello. I love to say hi to people, and the way to pretty much guarantee that I say hello and I just respond to your comments is super chats. It's definitely an option for everyone, but if not, keep coming back to the chat and I'll get to as many as possible. I love hearing from all of you, where you're from. So in the chat, let me know right now what city, what state, maybe what country you're coming in from. I would love to read some of your cities and countries out loud. It's always cool to see how far the live stream is going, how far it's reaching out. We're going to talk about a couple things. Of course, our classic TV shows as always. Specifically, we're going to be discussing the new Munsters movie. I think people are interested in this stuff because remakes are becoming a thing, and who knows if I even want to classify this as a remake, because I don't know, a lot of interesting stuff happening. I'll tell you who's making the movie, what's happening, and why it's got my attention. Let me say that. It's got my attention. I'm going to show you a couple photos, but I'm going to make a dedicated video on that. So make sure, if you're not subscribed, why do I always say to subscribe? I'm sure people are like, I've heard this before. Only 20% of people who watch the channel regularly are subscribed, which is a travesty. That means 80%, 8 out of 10 people are not subscribed and watch regularly. It's free to do so. Let me tell you, some people think it's like you have to pay. No, it's free. You just sign in once. Once you just put in, it takes 30 seconds to do. Once you're subscribed, that's all. That's all you have to do, and then that helps the channel so much. If I can't grow, I can't keep putting out videos. So I thank you ahead of time for all those who are already subscribed. Yes, people are starting to trickle in. The chat's going mile a minute, which is awesome. Thank you, Mark, saying he loves the videos. Greetings from Christopher. Jessica Mendoza, nice to see you. Is that a Mo Howard emoji you have going on? That is an awesome one. Ken Murphy, nice to see you on the live stream. Crazy little brother, hey, crazy big brother, right? Awesome. Soul Eclipse, nice to see you as well. Enrique, you know me indirectly. How do you know me indirectly? It would be cool to know. Maryland, from Maryland. Wow, our first state chiming in. By the way, I'm in Southern California, so that gives you an idea. So we're all across the United States already. Arizona, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Tennessee. Look at that, from Chattanooga. Vietnam, you're watching us. You take Mr. Cow. Hopefully that's how you say it. Wow. All the way from Da Nang, Vietnam, across the other side of the world, which is incredible. New York, but born in Jersey. Hello from Oklahoma, SoCal. Look at this. Quad Cities, Iowa, Illinois. Very good. Let me see here. Hesperia, that is awesome. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that you love the channel. Appreciate that we're going to be discussing some of your, I don't know, cool topics that you want to learn about, talk about. Des Moines, Iowa. Debbie, nice to see you from, oh, you don't say, you just say love your videos. I appreciate you. Oh, from Texas, West Texas. Let's see here. Southern Illinois, very nice. Other Illinois, Central Illinois, very, very cool. Lots of, let me see, Oklahoma, very, very cool. Well, nice to see you, Enrique. That is amazing. New York City, Norma. Well, hopefully you guys and gals have seen the videos. Oh, let me show you my shirt. My I Love Lucy shirt, California, here we come. One of my favorites. One of you sent that to me. I have all these shirts from like shows. I Love Lucy. I don't have any Gilligan's Island shirts. I have to buy a couple. I have Three Stooges shirts. I have Back to the Future shirts. A lot of shows and stuff. And it's really cool to receive stuff from you. Thanks to all of you who've already liked the video and people who are starting to trickle in. I appreciate all of you. Ah, yes, Enrique, Texas. Thank you so much for that. That's cool. My text guy is here. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Let's see. 99 miles from LA. Awesome. Let's see. St. Petersburg, home of the Red Tide. Let me see here. If you read my mind about having a video on this movie, right? Right? Yeah, we're going to talk about it. First of all, I guess we can talk about it now because some of you, I guess, want to kind of find out about it. Some of this will be news to you. Some people know about it. Now, before I start talking about the Munsters movie, I do want to talk about, I don't want to say the I Love Lucy movie. It's the Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz movie. William Frawley, William Frawley, the actor, will be portrayed. Vivian Vance, the actress, will be portrayed. I made a whole video on my thoughts on that, so go ahead and check it out. But this is really interesting because now we have a Munsters movie, and to be truthful, I saw that and kind of put it aside. I was like, okay, more remakes are coming out. But I saw I was going to make it Rob Zombie. So if you guys don't know Rob Zombie, very popular individual. I have to be completely honest, I've never seen his work, but I know him in terms of like, he's a powerhouse. He does a lot of stuff, right? Musician as well. And he kind of has a vibe to him, kind of like Tim Burton has a vibe, makes type of, right, if you hear Tim Burton, you know what type of work that's going to be. Well, Rob Zombie, similar, right? He's remade Halloween, he's remade Jason, right? Jason Voorhees and stuff. And now what was interesting, he actually called this his lifelong achievement. Like, he got together with Universal. Remember, the Munsters is owned by Universal. That's because, of course, the Munsters itself was essentially a parody or a comedy of the Universal Monsters, which they owned. So essentially, they didn't have to pay rights because they themselves owned it, Universal. So they had the rights to write the original Dracula movie, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and so forth. And they thought, why don't we make a TV show about these guys, but not make it so much scary, but make them like normal, and they think everyone else is weird, right? We know the Munsters. But then Rob Zombie comes in and he said, this is what I used to watch as a kid. Now, I used to watch it as a kid. Rob Zombie used to watch it as a kid. And he's made all these movies, right? House of a Thousand Corpses or A Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, stuff like that. Stuff that I've never really seen before, but I've heard about it. I understand it. I've looked into it. His wife starring in some of his films and so forth. And I'll tell you why I'm excited about it. I'm going to make a complete video on it and why it's interesting. I'm going to show you a couple images from his Instagram. I don't want to spoil everything that he has in that video, but I want to show you. He's not just going to rebuild the Munsters home. He's going to rebuild the whole neighborhood. And so this is from his Instagram. And as you can see, they're already starting construction at the Universal Studios backlot. That's what it looks like to me. He says construction on Mockingbird Lane for the Munsters is proceeding quickly. Stay tuned for the updates. Now, that one was interesting for me because he's putting a lot of work into this. And a lot of these projects, I'm not saying this is or this isn't, I don't know. But a lot of these projects, they try to be cash cows, right? That's why I'm not a huge fan of remakes. But then when I started seeing some of the care that was put into this stuff, this is Herman Munster's headpiece. Hopefully you can see that. Again, I'm going to make a video on that, make it crystal clear, have these images up there for you. You can see the individual pores on the skin. You can see the actual like staple marks for his forehead. You could see the wound he has, or the gash right here. It's very, very, very similar to the show. Now that's what's difficult, right? Who's the actor? We don't know, but he's starting to tease stuff. What else does he have? He has drawings of Lily Munster and her outfit, right? Drawings of her like outfit. There's like little minuscule like spider webs with her little nightgown and so forth, and it's just really interesting. I won't spoil the other stuff he has, but like I said, I'll make a video. But this guy's putting a lot of work into that, and that's got my attention. I really want to know your thoughts on this, because does it make a difference if someone puts a lot of work, a lot of effort into it? He has pictures with Butch Patrick. I think Butch Patrick is probably going to be in it. That's my guess. It's my educated guess. He's going to be in it somehow, probably not playing Eddie, or maybe playing an older Eddie, or maybe Uncle Eddie, or Grandpa Eddie. I don't know. I'm just making this up. But I mean, he drove the Munsters coach, all this cool stuff. So I want to kind of see what you guys and gals are saying over here about this. Rob Zombie making the Munsters. So remaking or paying homage to, yeah, it's an interesting thing. Okay, so Rob Zombie Rock Soul Eclipse is saying, yeah, Scarlet, it's very interesting. I think it's within his avenue, right? You know what else he did? I have to add this. He put 5 characters from the Munsters. You know, Paul Lynde playing the Doctor. He played Zombo, I believe. Zombo, he put him in there as well. 5 characters. Eddie's uncle, who's like a werewolf, creature from the Black Lagoon, and he asked the fans, who do you want to see in the movie? So he's actually asking us, he's polling us, who do you want to be in the movie? I mean, he's producing it, right? He's making this. Usually they don't ask you what you want, but he's asking fans, and fans are chiming in who they want to see. Hopefully Paul Lynde's character's in there. I love it. Yeah. So Eric says, it would be nice if Butch Patrick would make at least a cameo in the Munsters movie. I completely agree. That would be awesome. And I know that some people are not going to be a fan of it. I'm not saying I'm already a fan of it. I'm saying it's caught my attention, which is not a thing that remakes usually do. But I'm going to see. I'm going to see what comes from it. I'm following the project. He's giving us, it's on Instagram. You could see it. Go Rob Zombie Official, I think it is. And yeah, he's showing all the stuff. Like he's being very open. He's not being secretive about it at all. Who's my all-time favorite actor? Man, there's so many. I think I can't narrow it down to one. I would say for the silent era, I definitely love Chaplin, Buster Keaton. If we're talking about the 50s era, I love Lucille Ball. If we're talking about the 30s, I'm talking about Mo Howard, right? Shem Howard probably in the 40s and 50s. John Ritter for the 70s. So yeah, different eras. I love Bob Denver is one of my favorites. Absolutely amazing actor. Yeah, so Emily says, I don't like remakes that much. They usually aren't very good, especially if you're a fan of the original. I think you're absolutely right. There are remakes that are great and I love, and I will vouch for them because I think they're absolutely amazing. The problem with remakes is it's either going to be a carbon copy, half copy and something completely different, or something completely different. And unfortunately, you can't please everyone because it'll never be great as the original. Some try to outdo the original, which I think is a bad idea. Some don't. And they're just honest about it. And they're just like, we're not trying to beat the original. We're just trying to give you the feels again, right? Like on this channel, a lot of people say, why don't you show the original content? First, copyright. Second of all, I'm not trying to make a channel where I just upload the shows. I'm sure there are guys and gals who do it, and that's great. I'm commentary on this. I give my thoughts, my impressions. I break down the scenes. That's what my channel's about. And so I think a lot of you understand that. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. All right. Chucky series. I've never seen the Chucky series. But I may, because I'm doing movie reviews again, and I would like to look at it. We need that like button smashed. I completely agree with you. TCW Dead Blue. Absolutely. We have 80 people on here, only 31 likes. We can definitely make that number grow. All right. Jared says, Rob Zombie is a big fan of the Munsters, so at least there's that. He at least respects the original source. Sometimes people make films without being familiar with the shows or films. That's a great point, Jared. We could say that with the newer Star Wars, right? Not a lot of fans made it. There were people who came out from the outside, and there was a lot of divisiveness about it. But absolutely, Rob Zombie, big fan. I feel like it's in good hands in that sense. Butch Patrick seems like he's very close to him. So I'm sure there's something going on. There's some good stuff that may come from it. Ken Murphy coming in with a super chat. Thank you, Ken, for doing that. Super chat's a great way to have your comment highlighted above others, and it's a great way to support the channel, so I appreciate it. Of course, optional. If Rob Zombie is making it, it'll be dark. You're absolutely right. There will be a darker tone. I would say 100% it's going to be darker than the original. There's no way it's not, right? The original was what it was. It was gothy, but it was funny. It was silly. And now we have Rob Zombie doing this in 2020. I think it's going to come out 2022, 2023, probably 2023, my guess. It is going to be darker. But will it be silly? I hope it's still silly. I really, really does. I hope it's not cheesy. I hope it's 60s Munsters silly, if that makes sense. Like, use new actors. I would rather they use unknown actors, but people that are really good at what they're doing, really fine craft the art, not just big names to get big names. No, like someone who fits that part who maybe you've never heard of. I would rather disappear that character, or that actor disappears into the character, if that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see, from Australia. Nice to see you. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what may come from it, and why I think people at least, hey, should be open to it. That's pretty cool. Sally, you say maybe Butch will play Zombo. I think that's kind of funny. Remember, Zombo had all this stuff on him. He looked kind of like a weird gargoyle with like straight hair, kind of like, this is Monster from Universal, not the Crypt Keeper, the Caretaker, one of the Halloween Horror Nights monsters, kind of like that, like white straight hair, kind of like that, kind of creepy looking and everything. So we'll see what happens. That'll be great. Yeah, hopefully they don't ruin it. I don't think anyone wants it to be ruined, so I'm with you on that. I do appreciate it. A Steverino, nice to see you with the $10 super chat. You are awesome. Look at that with the little, okay, is that a fox? You see the fangs, and then there's like fans, right? Like those cooling fans you're using. That is awesome. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You're amazing. Let's see. Lazy Homebody, Tim Burton is usually great and he loves Dark Shadows, but his remake was awful. I didn't see it, so I can't say that. I haven't seen either of them, so I can't say much about it. Some of the Tim Burton stuff is definitely interesting. Now, you should say that Tim Burton remade Batman. Now, Batman, I think, is kind of like James Bond, in the sense of you could put different actors and they have a different take on it, and it's still okay, right? I mean, some of the best Bond stuff is the new stuff, although there's good classic stuff. So that's one of the most popular remakes, Batman and James Bond, and those have been remade, and a lot of them are good, let me tell you. Right? Like the 89 Batman was like dark and gritty and kind of calling to something that people were looking for. And think of that as opposed to Adam West, which was campy and fun, and we like it. I like it, right? So another thing, Addams Family. Addams Family was remade, Raul Julia, Angelica Houston. It was dark. It was gothic. It was a little creepy. It worked for me. I actually saw that before the original Munsters. The original Addams Family. And so I could understand how people could say that and not like it. I've heard people say they did not like Christopher Lloyd's portrayal. I get it. I have my own theory on that. Remember, he's playing someone who had amnesia, so he wouldn't know how to act. He wouldn't be kind of zany. His voice was hoarse in general, not like the high-pitched voice that, Uncle Fester has. So, yeah, there were differences there, for sure. Yeah, I want to clarify. Rob Zombie's not making the I Love Lucy movie. No, that's kind of funny, though. That would be hilarious. Heads would explode. Heads would roll, according to Major Hochstetter. I'm just saying that. That is awesome. Steve Reno, you're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate. I love this channel, and I love all of you, and I love all of your support. And look at those likes jump up like that. That's amazing. Oh, almost spilled my water over here. Yeah, Dr. Dudley would be hilarious. Yeah, I've heard that Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster, the original Eddie Munster, goes to different car shows and stuff, which is cool. I go to car shows. I should go more often, but anyway, that's getting off the topic. Have a super night, Tina. Let's see. You love 50s and 60s shows. Which one? Let me know. Yeah, so we're just talking about the Munsters. It's going to be remade by Rob Zombie. There's some promising things like the makeup, the actual, not mask, but the head piece of Herman Munster looks really good. Actors, let me tell you, can make or break a movie, a remake. Writers and the story can make or break a movie. So that's what's hard. You have to have everything together, not just a good actor, or not just a good setting, or not just good costume design. Sometimes it's a lot of it. You have to get a lot of it right for it to work together. And that's hard to do. That's not easy. John says, I hope they don't blow the whole budget on CGI creating Spot the same way Charlie and Chocolate Factory did with Oompa Loompas. Yeah, that's a good point. I hope there isn't much CGI. I don't think it's needed. I doubt Rob Zombie watches me, but if I would suggest something, I don't know if it would take more. He's already building outside the whole Mockingbird Lane. He could make it low budget in the sense of, work on the wardrobe. Don't get crazy expensive actors because they're not needed. Get good actors that are maybe not well known, but just nail the part, who look very similar, and do something that is similar but different, but keep along the original lines. Don't make crazy plots. Stick with a simple plot that everyone can understand and let people enjoy. Do callbacks to episodes. Do callbacks to moments. Something like maybe, I don't know, I'm not a writer, but, if someone pulls up in a hot rod and then be like, oh, I've done that already. Herman, because there was a whole episode on that. It didn't go that well, Lily, and then he goes, huh, huh, and laughs. Like cheesy stuff like that, where it's like people who would have seen this will love this movie. Let me tell you, they're not going to think it's better, but they're going to appreciate it. They're going to hold it dear. And that's going to make him money. It's going to make it successful for him. It's going to make the franchise more successful. It's going to make people watch the original stuff. So I'm with you. Keep CGI at a minimum or don't even use it. Sometimes it saves time. I get it. But we can tell when CGI is being used. And the Munsters use no CGI. So just saying that. All right, I love your thoughts. Keep them coming in the comments below. Batman is not a superhero. He doesn't have superpowers. Yes, he does. Of course he does. Christopher Nolan's Batman is quite dark and great. The Addams Family with Raul Julia is great, as is the original show. Yes, I think so. Raul Julia was brilliant. He was actually Spanish as a character. Well, he had the Spanish accent. He wasn't originally from Spain, but he had the accent. He nailed that down. They didn't go too crazy with it. Lurch worked. I wish he would have talked more. He actually didn't talk in the movie. There were small things, but it was enjoyable on its own. It was funny. Thing was CGI. It worked. Thing was doing all these different things. He got out of his box, which is kind of nice. Citizen Not, nice to see you. Howdy to you. Hello, Randy. Thank you for coming in. Our awesome moderator. We appreciate you, Randy. Thank you so much for being here. Hi from Rhode Island. Absolutely. To be honest with you, great question, Rick. What's your opinion of TV reboots? Again, I'm not really into them. I'm not completely against them. I think if they're done well, I can appreciate them. I've never seen Hawaii Five-0 or Walker, Texas Ranger, let alone their remakes. So I couldn't tell you. But like I said, the ones that I mentioned, Addams Family, pretty good. Batman, very, very good, right? A lot of those are remakes. Even the Superman, Man of Steel, I made a video on that, reviewing the movie. It was a pretty good movie. Becky, hey Rick, keep up the good work with all your videos. We really enjoy them. Thank you. I enjoy making them. I did make one today, and it's going to post tomorrow. So stay tuned. Set your clocks, 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to be notified, don't forget to hit the bell button, subscribe, bell button, and all. Boom. Yeah. The Addams Family movies were okay, but there were no original. Yeah, I will keep saying it. If unless the producer is like, yeah, we're gonna beat the original, which they don't really do, I'm fine with them doing a good job. They don't have to surpass the originals. I don't think that's the goal. I don't think that's what a lot of them want to do. Some do, and I'm like, really, right? Yeah, great question. Aaron S. Is there casting news for the Munsters movie? No casting news. There was rumors of a wrestler. You guys can look him up. Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is one of my favorite wrestlers from the era. He was in The Punisher. He was the Russian. He's huge. He's like 7'2", I believe. I don't see him as that. It was just like a rumor. They were like, he said that he wanted to be Herman Munster. So it's coming out. The information's coming out. I hope not. Like I said, I love Kevin Nash. I would love to meet him one day. I'd love to take a picture with him. One of my favorite wrestlers. But again, casting needs to be done right. You can't just stick a tall guy in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, he has to carry the movie. Herman Munster, okay, Fred Gwynn, who played Herman Munster, was in 80%. They calculated this, 80-something% of every shot of the Munsters. He's 8/10 of the time on camera when you watch the Munsters. He's carrying that movie. At least that's how it should be. Yeah, that actor needs to be solid. Everyone else needs to support him. That's just how it is. The show revolves around Herman Munster. Maybe they could do a play off of it where it revolves around Eddie. That's fine and stuff. But if we're talking about the original, that's what it calls for, according to me, or according to my thoughts, my opinion, which I'm just a fan like all of you. Jared, absolutely. Batman's superpower is his brain. Absolutely agree. Superpower, superhero just means they're super. Batman is super. He's super intelligent. He has money, and that buys him all these gadgets. He's essentially a detective, which is not shown in a lot of his movies. And he has a natural super intelligence. He's just a normal guy who's gone through tragedy in his life, who happens to have been born with money and does good with it. So he's absolutely a superhero. Okay. Win Chevy, hello Rick and everyone on this chat from Western New York. Nice to see you. Let me see here. The Munsters are trying to be funny, but Dark Shadow's unintentionally funny. Interesting. Yeah, I saw that. Like, for every episode, getting the whole series, it's like $450. I was like, oh no, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Yeah, you know what? Some shows I think should not be touched. And this is a good point. I just think, like, it's a train wreck. No matter what you're trying to do. And that's Hogan's Heroes, right? We're talking about Hogan's Heroes. Hogan's Heroes was a snapshot in time. I think the Munsters could be timeless because Rob Zombie could make the Munsters movie, but make it 60s era. Or though that would be amazing. Oh my gosh, I wish you would watch this. All these ideas we're coming up with, we're helping him out for free. People, give me ideas so we can give them to Rob. He could make it a 60s era film. Does that make sense? So set it in the 60s, like the show was. All the cars are from the 60s. And they talk like that. You know what I mean? Like, don't make it 2021 or 2022. You can. But I think it would be a nostalgia factor that would be amazing. That would add to the show. I mean, that would add to the movie so much. So much. Can't imagine anyone but Fred Gwynn playing Herman. Yes. Going back to Hogan's Heroes. Hogan's Heroes was a 60s show about the 40s, World War II. It was a show made for that specific time. Just like you don't remake I Love Lucy, you don't remake Hogan's Heroes. I think you don't remake Gilligan's Island. You can with Addams Family, because that's more of a concept. And then, that again, this is me, my opinion. And then Munsters. And then other shows, yes. John Ritter, you can't remake that, in my opinion. Yes, some things are and some things not. I think some things are legendary and some things are mythos. Mythos could be, you could update and do mythos over and over again. The myth story, right? Paul Bunyan. You could have 50 guys play Paul Bunyan every single year, right? But then you can't have a remake of Charlie Chaplin. Like, what is that, right? So yeah, absolutely. Let's see, Pat. I love your. So Pat says, Pat M. Rick, I enjoy your videos. Do you think this movie should be an animated movie? It seems to work for Addams Family. I didn't watch it, to be honest. I don't want to get too much into the animated one. I mean, I'm not against an Addams Family animated movie. I think it needs to be done right. I think Munsters could be done animated, but this is definitely live action. So I do want to clarify that. He's building sets. He's making actual sculptures, the sculpt model, the mold of Herman's head, which is absolutely amazing. There are already designs of the actual house, and it's exact. Okay, he has the exact blueprints. Like, he visited the original home, which is still there, and he has the blueprints from Universal. Like, this isn't ABC remaking it, right? This is Universal itself, who has everything, right? So it would be amazing. Oh my gosh, imagine if Rob and I would link up. That'd be amazing, but I don't know. Just a little YouTuber over here in a corner. He would, who knows if he would listen. But we're all fans. We're all big fans, and we mean the best. Like, I would love for him to make tons of money and do this movie right. Right? So I think that's amazing. Maybe Rick 9G, creative consultant on the Monsters Rob Zombie movie. But then if it doesn't come out right, everyone will brick me. All right, let's see. Eric, maybe I'm old school, you say, but I, of course, enjoyed the late Adam West as Batman, and you enjoyed Michael Keaton in the movie. He might not be dark enough for a dark vision. See, that's a good point, but you watched both, and you understood that both were different, and right, they weren't trying to remake the Adam West. It's just Adam West is what it is. You can love it, but you can watch the new one, too, and enjoy it, and it's a different take on it. Remember, because it's all from comic books, so it's from drawn images that are brought to life. So I think that's really cool. Remember, the Addams Family was a comic strip, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why it's okay, because it essentially was brought back. Now, Gilligan's Island animated, it could be cool, like for kids, right? I think that would be interesting. Some people were saying Brad Garrett as Herman. I don't see that. I don't see that, and that's just my opinion. Everyone could disagree with me, and I'll be fine with that. I respectfully, no, they need to pick someone who's not known, who's not overdoing it, someone who knows through and through just how Herman Munster is, a fan of the show, someone who just is deadpan, exactly, Fred Gwynn, and there are people like that. There are people like that. If you see these auditions, there are people who are the spitting image of these people. That's what it is, right? That's what auditioning is. Yeah, Addams Family was a cartoon, absolutely. Munsters was original, and remember, it's not a show, so it's just one movie. It's like a one-off, and I really think if they do, it's kind of like, I haven't seen it, but the Three Stooges movie that they made not too long ago was a little bit silly, but they didn't make it absolutely obscene or anything like that. There was some respect for it, and I understand that. I respect it. It was never going to be better than the shorts, right? But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the remake of that movie for the Munsters was Munsters Today. I haven't seen that. It's strange, though. I think the movie for the Munsters has to be similar to the Addams Family movie in that it has to go moment to moment, because some of these movies drag on, right? We're talking about the Munsters worked as a 26-minute episode, right? A lot of episodes together congruently. But then something like a movie has to work. It has to kind of go at a certain pace and so forth. I hope that makes sense. Because it's really hard to make a TV show into a movie or a movie into a show and vice versa. But a comic into a movie or show, that's easier, right? You have a lot more leeway. Mo, thank you so much. Coming in with a $7 super chat. You're amazing. It's hard to remake the old classic movies, TV shows, and make them a great one. It's better to leave them how they are, in my opinion. And I understand that. That's absolutely what I think about I Love Lucy. That should not be touched. I even would say I thought the Munsters shouldn't be touched, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I can't say I'm not. And I even said in my I Love Lucy, or the Lucy Ball Desiree Naz movie with Javier Bardem and Nicole Kidman. I think they should do it if they want, but I'm not going to be running to watch it. I'll just go back to watching I Love Lucy, right? Yeah, but that's a good point, and I totally understand and respect. I'm for 90% of not touching things. Star Trek is different because Star Trek, you can have different characters in the Star Trek universe, right? So if you're trying to redo Captain Kirk, they tried to do that. It was all right, but it wasn't fantastic because they tried to redo Kirk, right, and Spock, and it's not the same. But then the 80s Star Trek, The Next Generation, what was that? Boom. That was amazing because it was new characters, new storyline, and it was really good. Chemistry was great. Larry Potter with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Larry, for coming in to live stream and dropping a super chat. Have you seen the Green Hornet series, and can it be remade in your opinion? I haven't seen the Green Hornet series. I don't know if it counts, but I have seen the episode with Batman, and I thought it was good. It had Kato in there, right? It had the Green Hornet, and it was pretty good. And I don't know. I think Green Hornet can fall into, again, I'm not a big fan. I don't know much about Green Hornet, to be honest. It just needs to be done well. You can't just put like, whoa, what's the most famous actor at this time that everyone's going to see? Let's drop him in there. Ugh, I have problems with that, right? You have to really respect the original work. That's my opinion. And you have to get their blessing. You have to go along the same road if at all you're ever going to remake it. If, right? If. So I hope that answers your question. Randy says, Bewitched as a movie stunk even though it had an A-list cast. Yeah, A-list cast does not mean movie success. I will always agree with that. In fact, I would even argue the more A-list the cast is for a remake, the worse it's going to be. Because they're good actors, but that doesn't mean they're right for the part. And that's the worst. That's almost worse than them being not good actors. Because an actor has to fit. Casting is so important. It's so important. I'm in love with the Dragon's Dinner. Oh my gosh, does anyone know where that's from? I know some of my Lucy people will know. What episode? Let me see. Kirsten, all I'll say is ditto. Let me see. Yeah, Munsters Go Home. I have it. But believe it or not, I haven't gotten into it. I haven't gotten to it yet. Yeah, I'm not like excited to get to it. I'm sure I'll watch it someday. I just really love the episodes. Yeah, Rena Fan, good point. I think it's a mistake to go with someone just because they're tall. They could work around someone who's 5'4". They just need to be good. Apparently, the Stooges biopic was not great. You're saying. I'm editing what you're saying. I'm just giving you the main idea. Yeah. I don't know about someone who's 5'4", but they need. I would say go with someone tall. Go with someone who looks very similar to Fred Gwynn, so that when you make him into the prosthetic Herman Munster, there's going to be a resemblance there. And make sure the prosthetic looks very similar. His acting, his mannerisms have to be the same. There are imitators who are really good actors, and then there are actors who can imitate really well. So there's a lot that would go there. Yeah, there's a lot of people giving different actors and stuff opinions, or different opinions of actors they would like to see in the different parts, which I think is interesting. With that, it's just interesting to see what people think. Let me see. Yeah, so we're talking a little bit about the Monsters remake that is coming out. It's just in the early stages, let me tell you. No casting has been proclaimed, or no casting has been announced. They're going to film at least parts of it on the Universal lot. Hopefully they film most of it there. They can do most of it there. They have the sound stages. They're going to build the outside there. So my guess is 90% or 100% is going to be filmed there. They don't need to do anything else. I don't know. So you could go really wacky where you go like the Munsters go on a plane, or they go in a submarine, and you don't need to go big. Go simple. And that leaves room for That leaves room for growth. It leaves room for people wanting to see more. You can't just say Munsters go to space, like, right? Like, that's already ridiculous. The show in itself, they were always at home. Once in a while, Herman would go outside and cause a little bit of chaos. People think he's creepy, he's scary. We need more of that. We need him going to the doctors. And then the doctor being creeped out, right? Paul Lynde, and checking him up and seeing that he's all hairy. I mean, those little things are what made the show great. And I don't know why, but I feel like Rob will tap into that. Now, he made Halloween, right? He remade Halloween. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that movie was almost shot for shot. It was almost exactly the same. And some people criticized it, but then it was him also paying homage to it. So it's a double-edged sword, right? It could be not great for some people and great for other people. But he can't do that here because this is a movie. And so I'm pretty sure he's not going to redo Monsters Go Home or anything like that. He's probably going to take the best and make it out of there. So I want to know your thoughts. I love hearing your thoughts here. Yes, it was the Scotland one. Absolutely. Yeah, Butch Patrick's still working on. I mean, he's the only really living cast member, I believe. So Beverly Owen, I believe, passed away, right? Pat Priest, is she still alive? I just don't know off the top of my head. I don't want to look that up because I don't want to give any incorrect information. But yeah, Pat Priest, is she alive? Let me see. I feel like, because some people don't even know, right, that Pat Priest, the two girls played Marilyn. Yeah, she's alive. She's 84 years old. So, yeah, both of them are alive. Butch and Pat Priest. As of when this video is. If you watch it later, right, it's always as of this video. Ooh, would you prefer a Monsters movie shot in color or black and white? People, please answer this. This is amazing. Such a great question. I never thought of that. I never thought of that question. William Peterson, what an amazing question. I don't want to answer until all of you give me your thoughts. And then I'm going to tell you why my answer is. Would you want this movie to be in black and white or in color, or you don't care? Or maybe half and half? Or maybe do something where it's in color and then the rest of it? Let me know. Yeah. This is very, very interesting. Oh yeah, so Eric is asking, what happened to the original Munsters house on the Universal lot? So the Munsters house was in this residential little, it's a fake little residential area. It's almost a cul-de-sac, so it's just like a roundabout. It's just like it was, if you ever come to LA, you can see it on the tour. But if you've ever heard the show Desperate Housewives, that whole block is essentially now the Desperate Housewives block, right? And so all the ladies had their homes there right next to each other. And one of the ladies, I believe it's the pink home, if you look at it, if you look at just any Desperate Housewives episode, look at that home. That's a redressed, the Munsters house. They essentially redecorated it to make it look like a normal home, but the windows, everything was in the same place. Now it's like that. But he is making it off-site. That is at another location, I don't know how far, less than a mile away. They're essentially remaking the whole block again to be for the Munsters movie. Now, if they're smart, which I think they will be, that's going to be part of the tour. I was looking at Theme Park Obsession. It's a channel that I watch. He's great. He does a lot of like updates and construction and so forth. He goes to the theme parks, tell you what's going on. I'm a fan of his. And he showed an area right on the edge of the backlot. He was kind of scouting it out. And they were doing a construction project, and it looked exactly the same as what Rob Zombie showed in his photos. And I don't think Theme Park Obsession knows about that. But it's really cool. My opinion is that's what he was like. I wonder what they're doing there. That's the Munsters area. That's my thought. But yeah, I think that's just really amazing how everything's coming together. It's right at Universal Studios, which is insane to think about. Wow. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying. Should this Munster movie be... yeah, you're right, Eric. Pat Priest is still alive. It'd be great if she makes like Grandma Munster, right? Because remember, she played Marilyn Munster, right? So it'd be great if she's like Grandma Munster. Oh, that'd be so great. That'd be great. Like she could be the what do you call it? She could be the ugly grandma kind of thing, right? Like she's the ugly teenager, the ugly. I don't know. It's just cool, like when they bring people back like that, because it's like you pay homage to them. Absolutely, a lot of you are saying black and white, black and white. I have a couple that are saying color, black and white, black and white. A few color, in color, black and white, black and white, black and white, color. Black and white. It needs to be done. Yeah, I think if they can pull off black and white, it would be amazing. It doesn't even have to be nitty gritty black and white. Make it 4K black and white. Make it amazing. I think that'd be so good. That'd be so good. Like even Monsters Go Home, they try to be hip with the color. Rob, if I could call you Rob, if at all you're watching this, make it in black and white. That's just gonna help you. It just is. And people who love this, because let me tell you something. This is something that I never understood. They try to make it for the new generation. I get it. But who's going to take them? The grandparents of these kids and the parents of these kids who watch this and know it. And when they see it in black and white, I guess the kids are going to be like, why is it in black and white? But kids can watch stuff in black and white and enjoy it. I watched I Love Lucy when I was 3 years old, and it was in black and white. There are videos online of kids watching Laurel and Hardy and laughing their butts off. Kids are smart. They can understand something in black and white. They might ask and then just be like, because they're the monsters. That's the world they live in. That's the answer you give the kid. But yeah. Yeah, I would love to see Spot Under the Stairs. And I would love for him to look cheesy. I don't think they need to CGI him. Make him look like someone built him in their backyard like before. It's going to be hilarious. Like that's what some of these don't understand. They're going to make him look like an actual... Make him look all mechanically, like literally like it's like a crane going like this and a tail going, like you can improve it a little bit, but what I mean is keep it like that. It's gonna tune into something in your subconscious and make you think these thoughts. It's gonna make you go back to the episode subconsciously and episodes, and it's gonna make you like it. That's what I think. It's just gonna be cool. William, so back in the 70s, while on the Universal tour, you took a pic of the Munster house when it still looked like it did, right? And then they changed it. They repurposed it. That's what they do in Hollywood. But I think they could add this to the tour and people would enjoy it because they'll be like, this is where the Munsters thing is. And it wouldn't be the original Munsters house. But then what they would do, they'd probably pick up the Desperate Housewives original house and put it there, like next to it. And then people would love to see that. I mean, come on. That'd be amazing. And bring back these classics, right? Thank you, Randy, for your help, as always. Wow, you watched I Love Lucy when you were a kid, too. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys and gals. I think we're coming up to, 47 minutes.